Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele has been putting in work inside of the courtroom. Today, he cross-examined the Special Forces Street Team investigator, and he made him look lost inside of the courtroom. This investigator is a 10-year veteran in his field and has been investigating the YSL team for around a decade. However, Young Thug's lawyer would expose his lack of research and making him look unprofessional inside of the courtroom.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, you went through that entire Tumblr account to educate yourself for your testimony for the jurors. Am I correct?
No, sir. This is the only post from this Tumblr account that I've reviewed.
You didn't look at all of Mr. Williams' Tumblr accounts?
No, sir.
How did you know to review this one picture?
Well, when the state asked me to review these particular tweets, this is one that was linked within one of the tweets I was asked to review, and I was asked to review this post from that link.
You weren't curious to know what else is on that Tumblr account?
I was not, no.
Well, since you come back, I'm inviting you to look at it if you want to, but every one of those posts has to do with music. Do you realize that?
Objection, hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
As Young Thug's lawyer was stunned to hear that this investigator barely even did his job for the last decade. So Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, would stand on business, challenge the investigator to go home and do more research, and then come back to the courtroom with an answer.
Do you know, as you sit here, what all the other Tumblr posts deal with?
Objection.
Basis.
It would be speculation because he said he has not
A
reviewed.
standing objection.
You do me a favor. If you come back, which I'll call you if you need, I want you to review all that Tumblr, okay?
Sure.
Account. And then you tell the jurors everything else that's on that Tumblr account, okay?
Sure.
And tell them if it has anything other than music-oriented promotion, okay?
Well, I would say even this photo has more than just music promotion.
That's great.
As this really seems like a joke and kind of an embarrassment of the police department, having their main investigator of 10 years not even doing his job of investigating the important parts of social media. However, it gets even crazier from here, as Thug's lawyer would defend, weirdly enough, the YSL snitch Trontavious Stevens, as Trontavious gave the definition of the word slime very recently.
Word slime, what does it mean?
Good question. That's a good question. So, the S is for slug, the L is for love, the I is for I, the M is for me, and the E for everything.
That is the only thing that slime meant to you because you had a tattoo put in your body.
Yes, ma'am, that's what it means to, that's what that tattoo means to me.
Is slime ever used in any other kind of way? As by you or any of the people that
Like breaking it down, how I do it?
No, like the meaning of the word slime.
No, it's fine.
However, the police investigator, while on the stand, said that what Trontavious said was a lie, and that is not what the word slime means to YSL members. So Young Thug's lawyer was ready, and he played a song inside of the courtroom that had lyrics saying the exact same thing Trontavious said. So Brian Steele would expose him and then embarrass the officer in front of everyone, asking if he just did a simple Google search on what the word slime means.
Did you hear that, Detective?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, when you gave your testimony yesterday about you've never heard anyone describe slime in the way you just heard on Mr. Williams number 142, did you ever do a Google search?
No, I did not.
Did you know that question was coming?
No, sir.
You had no idea that the state was going to ask you that question?
No, I thought you meant your question.
No. Yesterday on direct exam, you knew that question was coming, right?
I did. I knew the state was going to ask me what slime meant, yes.
And did you do anything in preparation to say, I want to make sure my testimony is accurate?
I did.
But you never bothered to Google music?
With this being the state's best investigator, Young Thug's lawyer is already pushing for a Young Thug release very soon. The only evidence this investigator ever shared was in Young Thug's music video, having him basically self-snitch for being a part of a street team while recording for the video, as the jury would go on to show Young Thug throwing up a lot of hand signs.
Did you see Mr. Williams putting up any identifier signs within that first few seconds of the video?
I did.
And what was he doing?
He was throwing the B's again, the 2 guns, and he also threw a 5-point star.
In that particular portion at 1:30, do you see Mr. Williams throwing up any,
I did.
and what did he throw up?
He threw up the 2 guns again.
Nobody.
Why this is important is because of the crimes that Young Thug was allegedly a part of was at the exact same year that that old music video was recorded. They showed several music videos from Young Thug throwing up his team's hand signs. However, things would get even crazier as the investigator would show a nice little piece of evidence of Young Thug being a part of a street team, where he would confirm that there is several videos of Young Thug self-snitching on social media.
Now, have you had the occasion to view any videos with Mr. Williams in which he either himself self-identifies or associates himself either as a member of Rock Crew and or a member of YSL?
I have.
How many videos have you seen?
I don't know the exact number, but a few.
Okay, for the purposes of this testimony today, have you seen 3 specific videos as it relates to this testimony today?
I have.
As this does give confirmation to the jury that Young Thug is a part of that street life, which is a little concerning as these prosecutors are now doing a complete takeover of Atlanta. However, they're also targeting other rappers in the scene, as today we would see Lil Wayne be brought up, where the prosecutor would ask the investigator, is Lil Wayne affiliated with the Reds?
And are you familiar with who this individual is?
I am.
And who is that?
It's Dwayne Carter.
Okay, and does he have another name that he goes by?
He does.
And what is that?
Lil Wayne.
And are you aware, through any of your non-trained experience, if Mr. Carter, Dwayne Carter, self-identifies as a member of?
I believe that he does.
Okay. Tell the jury if you need to stand with the stick and point to what those identifiers are within Defense Exhibit 31.
There's a large MOB across his chest, often used particularly by West Coast, but is used across the country. He has 5 red 5-point stars across his chest.
But what's even worse for Young Thug is now that we're starting to see Gunna being brought up inside of the courtroom, as the famous YSL snitch Trontavious was asked by the prosecutor, is Gunna and Lil Duke associated with the Blue Street team, and are they members of YSL?
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you were asked on cross-examination a number of questions about the color blue. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Are there that are members of YSL?
Yeah.
Is Gunna a
Yeah.
Is Duke a
Yeah.
Is Duke YSL?
Yeah.
Is he a member of Young Slime Life Gang?
Yeah.
And what about Gunna? Is he a member of Young Slime Life?
Yeah.
All right. Is Gunna's real name Sergio Kitchens?
Yes.
Is Duke's real name Martinez Arnold?
Yeah.
With the courtroom knowing that Gunna is a part of a street team, it ends up affecting Young Thug even more. Let me explain. As it all begins when it was reported, and I quote, jurors in the YSL trial just saw these photos of Gunna and Young Thug arrested in 2017 during a traffic stop in Atlanta with several narcotics and cash. Part of the overt acts, prosecutors say, supports the RICO conspiracy charge, as the body cam police footage showing the arrest of Gunna and Young Thug on the ground would be shared with the entire courtroom. It would be revealed that this is actually the crime that Gunna snitched on Young Thug in. Gunna claimed the illegal items found inside of his vehicle were not his. There was a third man sitting in the back of the vehicle, as he would go on to also confirm that the items that were found inside of the vehicle were not his as well. Common sense would then point towards Young Thug owning all of the illegal items that were found inside of Gunna's vehicle. However, it gets crazier as the prosecutors would then question the arresting officer.
All right, so he's sitting on the curb. Mr. Jones is sitting on the curb, correct?
Right.
And Mr. Kitchens is also sitting on the curb. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. At some point, you go into the vehicle and you search the car.
Right.
You found in the... Mr. Kitchens, by the way, was driving the car, right?
Right.
However, it would finally be Young Thug's lawyer's turn to cross-examine the arresting officer, as he believes that Gunna's vehicle was only pulled over on that day because the officer saw him driving that car.
Come out of, and you said earlier, you pull over folks for window tint all the time, don't you?
Correct.
It wouldn't have had anything whatsoever to do with the fact that you saw 3 guys in a Maybach, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
I sustain the objection.
Your Honor, the state asked the question yesterday as to whether or not he knew the race of the individuals in the vehicle.
However, the judge was not a fan of that question, and even when the prosecutors tried to counter-question the arresting officer on the stand, the judge got very angry. He closed discussion and started yelling.
Parcel of the firearm. So if he's crossed about, yes, Your Honor.
We covered this yesterday. It doesn't have a nexus. Stop trying to get into it. I'm still not convinced. So, he shouldn't testify about why he was there. It's not relevant at this point in time, because what it does is invites and opens the doors. So you're not gonna do that.
However, this wasn't even the craziest part either. The YSL trial could be taking a drastic turn within the next week, as the prosecutors believe that Young Thug's team persuaded Trontavious Stevens to no longer snitch on Young Thug, as Trontavious Stevens would be exposed for lying on the stand when he would first reveal that the name Thug in Young Thug's rap name stands for, and I quote, truly humbled under God.
You already identified Jeffrey as a performer. What's his performer's name?
Young Thug.
And do you know, if you do know, what, if anything, Thug stands for?
Yes.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury.
Truly humble under God.
And is that something?
As he would end up being caught in his lie from the prosecutor, the report goes and reads, Trontavious identified Young Thug's song Droppin' Jewels today. The DA emphasizes the song doesn't actually say God.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you were asked on cross-examination a number of questions about the color blue. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Are there that are members of YSL?
Yes.
Is Gunna a
Yes.
Is Duke a
Yes.
Is Duke YSL?
Yes.
Is he a member of Young Slime Life gang?
Yes.
And what about Gunna? Is he a member of Young Slime Life?
Yes.
All right. Is Gunna's real name Sergio Kitchens?
Yes.
Is Duke's real name Martinez Arnold?
Yes.
With Trontavious being exposed for lying inside of the courtroom, the following day the prosecutors would want Trontavious now to return to jail for lying in a court setting, when it would be reported the DA's questioning of Trontavious Stevens about Young Thug's Droppin' Jewels song is borderline trolling.
Can you think of a single song right here as you sit right now that talks about the defendant Williams being truly humble under God?
I will rule the objection.
A number of songs on the last album, Pump. I ain't with the song, man. Dropping Jewels. He talked about God a lot in that one.
Okay. Please tell the jury what part of that song talks about the defendant being truly humble under God.
So in the beginning, he said, dang, show me why I'm living, why am I remaining here? I know he wasn't talking about nobody else but God.
Oh, did he say the word God?
You're right.
As let me remind you, these two, the prosecutor and Trontavious, are practically on the same team. So with the prosecutor exposing Trontavious for lying to make Young Thug look better, it is a very concerning deal. If the YSL team persuaded Trontavious to not snitch, it is extremely illegal, and it will come with a prison sentence of 7 to 10 years for everybody that was involved.